جدا بدنا
الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. Now, so this is class 10 of an ayah a day will get me on my way. And we are now at the seventh ayah. Yesterday we went, the day before yesterday, we went to the ayah, Alam naj'alil arda mihada, in which Allah Ta'ala said, have we not made the earth mihada, mumahada, spread out as a flat surface. This ayah, Allah Ta'ala said, وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا. And he said the mountains as pegs. The mountains as pegs, and we spoke day before yesterday about some of the ulama saying that أَلَمْ نَجْعَلِ الْأَرْضَ مِهَادًا, did we not make the earth a flat surface? Likewise in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah Ta'ala described the earth as being bisata, also spread out. And from this, the group that's called flat earthers, it's not just some group that's making things up. There are ulama of Islam that have the same position based on these verses of the Quran, the earth being a flat surface. And as was mentioned, when it comes to this issue, these are not from the foundational issues of our aqidah that we have to confirm or deny. That's the first and foremost. Before we go into this speech of the earth being a sphere or the earth being flat, then these are not from the issues that a Muslim has to confirm or deny, and it deals with his Islam. Even our scholars have differed in this issue. So that's number one. And when there's ikhtilaf, there's two main types of ikhtilaf differences. When there are differences, there are two main types of differences. You have ikhtilaf tanawwu' and ikhtilaf tadad. You have ikhtilaf of perspective and ikhtilaf that's a complete contradiction, right? So this is ikhtilaf tadad, complete contradiction. So that means when one group takes a position, they're saying the other group is wrong. So this is one of those issues. And even though in that level of ikhtilaf in which one group is saying the other group must be wrong, there's also within that ikhtilaf sa'ir wa ikhtilaf ghayr sa'ir. There's a difference that is, there is an acceptable difference and there's an unacceptable difference. So with this particular issue, although this ikhtilaf is the ikhtilaf of total contradiction, meaning one group has to be right and one group has to be wrong, it still is room for it. The reality of it is that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the other prophets never came with this issue as a foundation part of the belief of the Muslim by which his faith is depending on. Is it round? Is it flat? It doesn't reach that level. So when the brothers talk about this issue and discuss it, when they differ, I recommend to the brothers that do not take it personal and do not take it as a very heavy or important part of deen, because nothing is going to happen if you say the sphere, nothing's going to happen if you say flat. That's the most important thing. So these are the verses And then the argument for those who say that it's a sphere, in reality, the argument is more intellectual. It is flat, is more textual, it's more text that points to that says flat. That says flat. So we have the ayah that preceded the day before yesterday that we read that said, Alam naj'alil arda mihada. We have the other ayahs that said bisata, spread out and flat. Then we have here wal jibala awtada, in the mountains as pegs. So from that, those who argue about the flatness of the earth from the scholars, they say pegs are not put into spheres. Pegs are put into boards, and boards are flat. A peg is like something that sticks out of something. Mm-hmm. Now, so they say pegs are not put in spheres. Pegs are put into boards. So that's another argument they bring like that. And the argument, honestly, is a strong argument, and it's something to look into. I recommend the Muslims to look into the ayat, because they bring many that are used as evidence for this position, and don't just cast it by the side. But once again, it's not like a question that's going to be asked in the grave. It's not a question that's going to be asked in Qiyamah, and like that. But the fact that Allah mentioned this, the mountains are pegs and the earth is flat out, is a very important point. Another important point of Allah Ta'ala mentioning the mountains that He mentioned in Surah Al-Nahl, that He called the mountains rawasiya, also like pegs. Fil ardi an tamida bikum, that He placed them in the earth so that they keep the balance of the earth. Without the mountains, the earth would be unstable, constantly having earthquakes, constantly shaking. It will be unstable. So everything that Allah created has a purpose. The purpose of the mountains is to keep the balance of the earth, to keep the balance of the earth. Now, also, Allah Ta'ala, from the mountain paths, Allah Ta'ala created from these different types of colors of clay, Adam alayhi salam. Adam alayhi salam. The word Adam itself means black brown. You want to describe somebody that is dark brown skin, you would say, Wakana Adami, and he was Adami, meaning dark skin, right? And this is where the Nation of Islam says that black man is the original man. So the darkness of Adam is a result of what? The result of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordering the angels to collect every color of clay for the creation of man. Because they argue the point, the nation, and they're not Muslim, but they argue the point that, okay, Adam was black. So they say the original man is black. Okay? It's not an argument. When we hear arguments like this, the important point is we don't necessarily rush to reject every argument that is brought by kuffar or by deviants. The first thing is that we listen to it to see where are they coming from with this? Where are they getting it from, right? Because we don't want to rush, and actually they're quoting something that is true, but then they put their own interpretation on it that makes not the statement false, the interpretation, the end result of the statement false. So Adam alayhi salam was created from these different mountain tracks in the clay that was brought out from these mountain tracks, all different colors. As it came in the hadith, that Adam was created from every type of clay. We spoke about this before, I believe. White, black, red, yellow, and in between all of those colors. In every texture, dry, moist, hard, soft, every type. He says, so his offspring, he says, so Adam's offspring, they are like the clay that they were produced from. The offspring, the genetic makeup from Adam, it covers not just color, but also texture. That texture is realized not in the softness or roughness of our skin, but it's realized in our personalities. So each people are from a region that coincides with the type of clay they originated from. And their personalities coincide with their region. So you find people of the desert, the Bedouins, they have a specific type of behavior. Then you find people who are farmers, they have a different type of behavior. And this is where the cultural behaviors come from, the type of land that the people come from, the type of clay that Adam alayhi salam was produced from, and like that. Now, so this is the ayah, wal jibala awtada, and the mountains as pegs. And this is a sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we see those mountains, the first thing we see with regarding the mountains is the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put this giant fixture, he called it a peg, and he created it for the purpose of giving balance to the earth, that without it, it wouldn't. So we see human beings erect a tall building, we're impressed. And then we look at the mountains and don't give any consideration. So we're impressed by these tall buildings that do not reach the heights, nor the width, nor the depth of the mountains. Then why are we not more impressed, subhanAllah, when we see the mountains? Why are we not more impressed? As it's, it's said, when we look at these individuals, and if we look at the history of mankind, but the majority of the time, I'm not going to say every time, the majority of time that human beings have built a metropolis, right? They began questioning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When man becomes engrossed with what he did with his own hands, from building and what he calls progress, this is when he begins to question Allah. The Ayah did it. The Thamud did it. The pharaohs did it. Every time. And if we look today at the so-called first world countries, as soon as they began building what they did with their own hands, they began questioning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who are closer to realizing their dependence on Allah, who have gardens and farmers and like that, it's rare that you see them question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's rare because they know for a fact the texture of the soil, the soil being right in order to plant seeds, the rain, and depending on the rain coming, the wind, and everything they're depending on for growth and irrigation and everything that they're doing, they have a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They know they're not doing it themselves. And they tried this and they tried that in order for the crops to be successful. So they're more connected. It's rare. 2 incidents in the Quran where Allah ta'ala mentioned people one becoming a disbeliever because of his garden, and the other one's becoming stingy because of their garden. And you can find that in Surah Al-Kahf, right? When the two men, he said to his companions, he's talking to him, I have more wealth and more children. He became arrogant because of his garden. Likewise, in Surah Al-Qalam, when those guys, their father died, and then their father used to invite the poor in when he was getting the harvest. But they said, once he died, they said, no, nobody poor in this day. So there are the 2 incidents in the Quran in which people became arrogant even with gardens. But majority of the time you see over and over again, Pharaoh, Haman, Qarun, Ayat Thamud, because of the buildings they erected, carving houses out of mountains. In Surah Al-Hijr, Allah described them as they carved houses out of mountains. And that's still present in if you go visit Jordan, you'll see over in that area, you can go see where you'll see these big giant mountains, got windows in it, balconies and everything. Yeah, it's still there to the day. You go see it and you'll see like, wow, who? You will say, yeah, fair. And really, who did this? But Allah already told us who did it. The Kuffar, when they go, they say, what people did this? And they're amazed by it. But us, we have it in the Quran, the historic account of who did this and what happened to them. Because the problem is when people look at those things, they say, wow, the might and the strength of these people, look what they did. They carved houses out of mountains, Stonehenge, and they look at the pyramids and like that. But they never think, who wiped them out? We have no historical account of war that wiped the Pharaoh people out, that wiped the people of Stonehenge. We have no historical account of how they disappeared. But they're gone. So to me, not just is it amazing that what they were able to do, but it's amazing what took them away. Allah explained this in Surah Al-Haqqa. Allah Ta'ala said that he destroyed Ad. He said, فَأَمَّا عَادٌ الْحَاقُ مَحَاقُ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحَاقُ كَذَّبَ ثَمُودُ وَعَادٌ بِالْقَارِعَةِ. Allah said that the Thamud and the Ad, they rejected the qari'ah, that the deafening wind, or the what do you call it? It's stronger than a hurricane, that this destruction was going to come to them. فَأَمَّا ثَمُودَ فَأُهْلِكُوا بِالطَّاغِيَةِ. And as for the Thamud, فَأُهْلِكُوا بِالطَّاغِيَةِ, they were destroyed by a deafening cry. وَأَمَّا عَادٌ فَأُهْلِكُوا بِرِيحٍ صَرْصَرٍ عَاتِيَةٍ. And as for the Ad, they were destroyed by a continuous wind that kept coming to destroy them. سَخَّرَهَا عَلَيْهِمْ سَبْعَ لَيَالٍ وَثَمَانِيَةَ أَيَّامٍ حُسُومًا. Allah Ta'ala sent this wind upon them for 7 days and 8 nights. 7 days and 8 nights. And in the Tafsir Ibn Kathir, it said that this wind would come, and it was a freezing wind. And each group of people of the Ad would destroy, it would come to them, chase them. They would run. It would sweep them up, take them up, and then slam them down. And the people that were coming next, they would see the punishment of those who came before them. And then the wind would chase them down and then grab them and lift them up. And that's why Allah Ta'ala said, فَتَرَى قَوْمَ فِيهَا سَرَعَا كَأَنَّهُمْ أَعْجَازُ نَخْلٍ خَاوِيَةٍ. So after that wind came and destroyed them, you saw people laying down as if they were ripped up palm trees. And this analogy of being a ripped up palm tree is because palm trees, in reality, once they ripped up out of the ground, it's hard. You can't get them back into the ground again. They're totally uprooted. It's not like you see other trees fall where their roots are still attached to the ground, but the tree is laying down, but the roots are still attached. When a palm tree comes up, it comes out like taking a potato out of the ground. It comes all the way out. Then Allah Ta'ala said, فَهَلْ تَرَى لَهُم مِّن بَاقِيَةٍ. فَهَلْ تَرَى لَهُم مِّن بَاقِيَةٍ. So do you see any of them remaining? As he's mentioned, destroying them. He said, so you do see any of them remaining? So we can say about the pharaohs, we can say that about Ad and Thamud, that when Allah destroyed them, so do you see any of them remaining? So from the signs of Allah Ta'ala is that he created these mountains as pegs, and he allowed some of his creation from the humans and other than the humans to take these mountains as dwelling places. And these mountains create the balance for the earth, and these are from the signs of Allah. وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا. Are there any questions or anything about what was said today? Okay, so we'll stop.
Assalamu
Inshallah ta'ala.
alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Now,
Sheikh Hassan.
mm-hmm.
So the people of Noah, I think we're children for Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, all of those people that Noah took with him were from Adam's children. Noah himself, he's from Adam's children, and all of those people that he took with him from Adam's children. So even though those people were destroyed, all of those people are originally from Adam's genes. So it's like that. So but it's true what you're saying, that some of the ulama called Noah the second father of mankind. That Adam is the first father of mankind, and Noah is the second father of mankind. And then Ibrahim is the father of the prophets, because so many prophets came from his offspring. So you have Adam, the original father of mankind, Noah, the second father of mankind, and Ibrahim alayhi salam, the father of the prophets, because so many prophets and messengers came from this. Now, so that's a true position now. Anything else? So we'll stop here. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.